Raw milk is one of my favorite things, and a lot of people get scared when I talk about raw milk. But here's the deal. 100 years ago, raw milk was very dangerous for humans. It was produced in unsanitary conditions. The cows were fed swill, which is a byproduct of grains used in alcohol production, and they were not sanitary conditions, and a lot of people got sick from raw milk. If you Google, is raw milk healthy, is raw milk safe, you will get all kinds of information about how you're going to get salmonella, how you're going to get camelback, how you're going to get sick from raw milk. The honest truth is that all foods that are raw carry some risk of contamination for humans, whether it's raw spinach, raw vegetables, raw fish, like the sushi you're eating, or raw milk. And of those, raw milk is actually one of the safest things you can eat. Yes, more people eat vegetables every year than drink raw milk, but the number one source of contamination, the number one source of foodborne contaminants in the US is raw leaf lettuce and other leafy greens every single year. So think about that next time you eat your salad.
So this video from Paul is just completely misleading. If we look at simple numbers here, roughly 80% of the American population consumes leafy greens on a regular basis. The study right here took place over 40 years, and it showed that about 20,000 illnesses in the US were related to leafy green consumption. That's about 500 cases per year. But like I said, roughly 80% of the population eats leafy greens on a regular basis. This leaves you with around a 0.0002% chance of contracting a foodborne illness from leafy greens. That's less than 1 in 500,000 people per year that are at that risk. Now, raw milk is a different story. Around 3% of the American population consumes raw milk on a regular basis. This study right here from 2009 to 2014 showed that there were 760 food-related illnesses caused by consumption of raw milk per year. If we break that down, we have about a 0.008% chance of contracting a foodborne illness from consuming raw milk. That's about 1 in 13,000 people. That means that drinking raw milk gives you around 40 times higher of a risk of contracting a foodborne illness than eating raw leafy greens. But here's the crazy thing. Washing your leafy greens greatly reduces that risk, and cooking your leafy greens completely reduces that risk. Same thing with milk. Pasteurization is simply the heating of the milk to a certain temperature to where it kills off that harmful bacteria. These raw milk drinkers always go on about how drinking the raw milk gets you more of the vitamins and the minerals and everything that's in that raw milk compared to pasteurization, but that's just simply not true. You may see a slight decrease in vitamin C within pasteurized milk, but milk is not really a vitamin C rich food anyways, so seeing a slight drop is not going to make that much of a difference. The protein is not changed, the fat is not changed, the carbs are not changed. The only thing that's changed is you don't have a risk of getting a foodborne illness. Paul sitting here saying that raw milk is so much better for you, the risk is just not worth the reward, and the reward is barely any, if anything.